The Romans, when besieging a city, made a habit of carefully inquiring the name of the city and of its guardian spirit. When they knew these, they would summon the guardian spirit of the city and its inhabitants and conquer it. The battles between men are all part of a bigger control of mankind and are preordained by the Watchers. Egregor is Greek and means to rouse from sleep, to be excited by passion, to be awake, or to watch.
I'm the type to not give up.
Soy el tipo que no se rinde.
I'm the type to give type 2 diabetes my all.
Steglajan gives you it.
Incredibly, etymologically linked to the enlightenment experience of the awakening, or the place between awake and asleep. It is this very place between awake and asleep that the vast majority of alien abductions occur. It is this part of our mind, this midpoint, that we suddenly become aware of reality, of the beings all around us, controlling us. This is the moment many awake and become strange to the rest of society, because they have seen. Eliphas Levi, a 19th century magician and mystic, whose eyes were opened, speaks of these egregores on numerous occasions, and even links them to the giants or watchers spoken of in the Book of Enoch, saying that they take shape and have appeared in the guise of giants. These are the egregores of the Book of Enoch, termed the celestial watchers or egregores by the ancients. Levi also calls these egregores the Anakim, shining ones, men of renown, the giants of the Bible, and that they are expressed in the myths of various cultures, just as we have been finding. It therefore appears that Levi knew of these egregores or watchers from the recently translated and widely available Book of Enoch. Levi was well known to have Rosicrucian tendencies, and this movement too was aware of the meaning of the word. In fact, they believed that the egregores were still in existence and were working in the background. Amazingly, the infamous book, the Necronomicon, tells us about a fabulous city of Irem. Irem of the Pillars is part of Arabian magical lore and was built by the jinn, or angels, and were also watchtowers, the towers of the watchers. The Thesaurus Temporum, translated into Latin in the mid-17th century, gives us a chronology of events surrounding these egregores. They descended, and by 1487 BC they had taken Enoch to paradise due to the descent of the fallen watchers. A text from the 17th century that quite clearly states that the watchers descended, remained on earth, and even took Enoch away again. It seems then that the extremely ancient concept and story of the Shining Ones was still very much alive and being propagated secretly by the mystics of the last few hundred years. These were part and whole of the prince of this world, and of achieving the mystical union of the self-aware personality with the individual profundity. Its members strive to have access to mastery by reuniting with the kingdom at the centre, propitious with the descent of the Paraclete sent by Christ. In addition to the assistance rendered by the attachment on the side of the initiator with the egregor, protector of the secret chain. An apostolic succession of power, suggests John Michael Greer in Inside a Magical Lodge, is a basic function of the egregor. Worship me, cries the egregor. I am the Son of God. You are nothing but a worthless and sinful creature, damned from birth and destined to hell, were it not for my sacrifice. And without me, you will never reach heaven. The egregor is a group spirit that serves to remind the initiate of his or her goals. It informs and guides the individual, and it protects the living chain of brotherhood. The living chain of brotherhood is entered into when a Setian performs a rite of their own creation intended to protect and enhance the temple of Set. The egregor protects the brotherhood by letting them know their enemies are there. A symbolic representation of the egregor is used to maintain a link to the Prince of Darkness. Sir Ormsond IV, Saturnian Principle. The message here is quite simple. The Watchers are a spiritual or otherworldly being with power from the gods to control us. They should be worshipped by us. In modern terms, beings from an alternate reality, a different phase of reality, have put themselves above us, created religions for us to join and worship within, and formed highly secretive cabals to foster their control. Failure to follow the command means we will find ourselves in what they call hell. Today we have watchers. Thousands of people have witnessed them. Hundreds come into direct contact with them. There are comic books, games, and even movies all about them. We know them as the Men in Black. Their origin in modern times can be found in the 1940s as UFO sightings were on the increase. People who reported having witnessed a UFO started to be contacted and threatened by sinister men in plain clothes and black suits. Over the years, very few facts have emerged about them. They are thought to work for secretive government departments, and yet they are seen across the world. They have strange superhuman powers. They come and go as they please, appearing and disappearing like ghosts. They are referred to by some as demonic beings. They have strange features and dark skin. They shapeshift. In fact, there are hundreds of reports of reptilian shapeshifters all over the world. Eyewitnesses have described humans turning into reptilians and back again before their eyes. These reptilians simply take the form of humans to merge into our society. It is all a trick of the waveform, a lie to our eye. Sometimes humans perceive the world a little differently. and the true waveform is revealed. Ask anybody who has taken LSD what reality is, and they will give you a completely different picture to what they see and what you see. It is not as bizarre as it may sound. It is science at play. Change the colour of your light bulb to red, and you will see a completely different room. It will reveal things you did not see before. Strangely, Men in Black often come with strange sounds and lights, as if the barrier of the manipulated waveform was being broken down. Over the thousands of years between the invasion of these watchers or reptilians, they have not taken power of our governments, religions, and secret societies. They created them. They are the powers that rule the world. Their history is the mythology of each and every society and civilization. The stories across the world of serpent gods, dragons, and beings of light are the stories of the mass invasion on a worldwide scale. The creation of civilizations everywhere comes hand in hand with the stories of the arrival of beings from another world. Before they came, we were simple, peaceful people. Afterwards, we were part of a huge prison on our own planet. It is said that in ancient times we called aliens angels because we did not know what they were. Today it is said we call them aliens because we know better. There is in fact no difference between them. Aliens and angels are the same thing. Angels came, taught us, manipulated us with their words from the gods, and even abducted us. Today aliens do the same. In fact, just like in ancient times, abductees claim that they were taken by reptilian-like beings. One of the earliest modern reports is from Nebraska in 1967 of a police officer who claimed he was taken on board a UFO by reptilian humanoids wearing a winged serpent motif. It is claimed by some that aliens would not be humanoid, but they would be if they had, as the ancient texts state, created a hybrid species. The fact is that humans have been abducted for thousands of years. Ever since the arrival of the reptilians, there are copious texts reporting these events, and some of the most famous are the actual characters from our religions: Moses, Abraham, Muhammad, Jesus. All of these and more all had close encounters with what we today would call aliens. Even Mary meets the angels of light at the tomb of Jesus. There are also thousands of artifacts left behind by our ancestors. These depict the actual aliens themselves and their shape-shifting nature. From rock paintings that are tens of thousands of years old to carvings and statues of later civilizations. There are even numerous crafts seen around the world and left for us as works of art. Strange faces, strange craft, humanoids with elongated serpent-like eyes, spacesuits, spaceships, depictions of planets with rings that could not have been known, weapons, There are huge gaps in our history that simply cannot be explained in any other way. How suddenly an agrarian society discovers the knowledge to become a world-leading civilization it cannot be explained in any other way. How suddenly an agrarian society discovers the knowledge to become a world-leading civilization with the ability to build massive superstructures that point to specific locations in the sky.